Today we're going to pull apart this whole idea of what it means to be calm. Because let me tell you, what you see on the surface, well, that's almost never the real story.
Think about it. We all know that person. The one who, while the world is basically on fire, seems totally unfazed. They're just sipping their coffee during a total crisis like it's any other Tuesday morning. How do they do that?
Well, here's the secret, the thing nobody really talks about. Not all calm is created equal. Behind that peaceful, serene mask, there is often a completely different and sometimes chaotic story going on.
In fact, we're really looking at three totally different types of people. Three completely separate mindsets, all hiding behind the exact same calm face. And trust me, understanding them might just change how you see everyone around you, and maybe even yourself.
So first up, let's dive into type 1, the calm faker. This is probably the one you've run into the most.
Just look at this incredible split between what they show the world and what's really happening. On the outside, they look unshakable, composed, totally flawless. But inside, it is pure, unfiltered chaos. Their brain is just screaming, "Do not panic, do not panic," while their face is a perfect picture of composure. There's actually a psychological term for this. It's called surface acting. And the most important word there is exhausting. It takes a huge amount of mental energy to project an emotion that you are just not feeling. This isn't peace, it's a performance, and it is draining.
This quote just says it all. It's exactly like a duck gliding smoothly across a pond. All you see is this serene, elegant creature. But right underneath the surface, those little feet are paddling like crazy just to stay afloat. That, right there, is the inner world of the calm faker.
Okay, so moving on to our second type, we find a completely different reason for this calmness. Let's meet the numb survivor.
See, the survivor's calm isn't a performance. It was literally forged in fire. They have been through something so hard, so genuinely awful, that they were broken down and had to rebuild themselves. And that whole experience fundamentally rewired their nervous system, to the point where today's crisis just doesn't even register as a real threat.
So when a project implodes at work and everyone else is losing their minds, the survivor, they just exhale. And you know why? Because they have genuinely seen and lived through so much worse. This problem right now, it just doesn't have the power to shock them anymore.
And that really gets to the heart of it. What looks like peace to us is actually a suit of heavy armor, built in battles they never ever asked to fight. This kind of calm, well, it was paid for with a lot of suffering. And that brings us to our final, and I think maybe the most fascinating type, the overthinker strategist. These are the quiet masterminds living among us.
This comparison really says it all. A strategist doesn't panic because, by the time something actually goes wrong, they've already lived through it in their head, probably like a dozen times. So while we're all feeling that real-time stress, they're just calmly reaching into their back pocket and pulling out Plan B.
Their secret weapon is just hyper-preparedness. Their mind is a machine that never stops running simulations. They've war-gamed every possible outcome, which means they have already emotionally processed the worst-case scenario long before it ever happens. So when the chaos finally hits, for them, it's actually kind of boring.
So there you have it. The faker, the survivor, and the strategist. Three totally different worlds going on in their heads, but they all present that same calm face to the world.
So now it's time for a little reflection. Which one of these, really resonates with you? Are you the one masking a storm, the one armored by your past, or the one who's always 5 steps ahead of the game?
Let's do a final breakdown here. You've got the faker, whose calm comes from masking a storm of anxiety. You've got the survivor, whose calm comes from the heavy armor of past suffering. And you have the strategist, whose calm comes from constant mental preparation. 3 different sources, 3 very, very different internal states.
And I think this is the real takeaway here. Being calm isn't about being free from stress. It's never about the absence of the storm. It's always, always about how you've learned to navigate it.